Hi everyone, it's Natalie and welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. And that's because in May I decided to try out Kindle Unlimited. Now, technically speaking, I've tried this service before, but I never actually actively tried to read more than one thing in 1 month. And honestly, for a long time I was like, it's not worth it for me to pay $10 for this subscription when I don't really have the time to read that much stuff. But I got 2 months free, so I was like, let me try it out, especially now that I have more free time. And on top of that, there's also a blogger that I followed that I was like, she reads a lot of queer novellas, and I'm pretty sure it's through Kindle Unlimited. I should try out some of those. So I decided to do that. But before I get into that, in the description down below you will find petitions and things you can do to support not only Black Lives Matter, but especially Black trans lives. Because we all know the hot fuckery that's been going on, not only with trans lives in general, but especially with Black trans lives. So we gotta get some shit going. Anyway, the first novella I'm going to be talking about isn't actually from Kindle Unlimited, but I'm including it here because it was one of the novellas that got me started. I picked up this one because I already owned it and I'd had it for a while, and I was like, let me get a taste of this novella and see if I really want to commit to reading more of them. And that is Knit 1, Girl 2 by Shira Glassman. In this novella, we're following our main character, Clara, who has her own yarn dyeing business. But she's kind of running out of ideas of what to do with her colors for her yarn. So when she walks by an art gallery and sees the artwork of Danielle, she's very interested in making a collaboration so that she can use the colors in Danielle's paintings in her yarn dyeing. That's essentially it. The two of them meet and it's a cute little romance. I rated this 2.5 stars. It wasn't really my favorite, but it was really cutesy and sweet. Some of the writing though was kind of cringy, so this wasn't my best step into this genre of romance novellas, but I still think in the end it was worth a shot. I think the writing style of this was the main thing that I didn't quite vibe with. It felt a bit forced and way too on the nose, trying too hard to be like relatable or something, so that kind of put me off. But the romance between Clara and Danielle was cute though, so I really enjoyed that part. And in the story we're following two Jewish girls, which I don't see often in books or novellas for that matter either. So that was interesting and I really appreciated being able to tap into that. The first novella that I officially picked up from Kindle Unlimited was Meet Cute Club by Jack Harbin. In this novella, we're following our main character, Jordan, who runs his own romance book club. One day when he goes to buy the books for his book club, he meets the new bookstore employee, Rex. And the story is essentially about Rex, who doesn't really read romance stories, joining this book club and the romance that develops between Jordan and Rex. I rated this novella 4 stars. It was fucking fantastic. I loved it. It was so... Y'all, there aren't the words to describe how cute it was, how much it made my heart feel warm. It was everything. Plus, out of all the novellas that I read this month, this one had more of an actual plot, something apart from just the two characters falling in love, keeping it together, so I found that interesting. Because we have Jordan who's trying to keep his book club surviving, and he's struggling to get new people to join his book club, and we discover why this book club means so much to him. So between Jordan and his relationship with his grandmother and learning about Rex and his relationship with his sister and his father, it was just very interesting. So there was clearly a focus on the romance, there's no doubt about that, but there was a bit more to it than some of the other novellas that I read. So that's why I really appreciated this one and I'm so happy I picked it up. The next one I read was Learning Curves by Celie Simkes. This one doesn't have much of a plot going for it. It's essentially just about two graduate students falling in love. That's it. I rated this one 2 stars because I didn't really enjoy it all that much. The dialogue between the characters just felt a bit too forced. Since this isn't really a really long novel, some of the ways that they communicated with one another just felt a little bit strange and kind of robotic. I don't know, something about it just didn't quite click with me and didn't feel genuine. Apart from just cringy dialogue, there was also this issue in the writing where the point of view changed sporadically and it was just confusing to read. Like, genuinely genuinely, I was kind of like, what the hell's going on? Because sometimes it felt like within one paragraph, we changed from the perspective of Elena to Cora without any hint of anything, and it was just hard to determine, wait, who is she? What's she? Are we referring to right now? What's going on? It was messy. Secondly, our main character Elena is Puerto Rican, and it was strange. The representation wasn't bad per se, but it just didn't feel genuine. Very clearly, it was not genuine. Some of the things that Elena said, the way she said them, I was like, well, I don't know about that. Like, I'm not gonna recover from the fact that the author did a literal translation of the word pan de agua. Like, she called it water bread, and I'm like, what? What's happening here? So it was more like that kind of thing where it's not really like offensive, it's just strange. Or at least it wasn't offensive to me as a Puerto Rican. But that's just to say this one didn't really work for me, but you know, it happens. The next one I picked up was The Babysitter by Jack Harbin. Yes, I picked up another one by Jack Harbin because I enjoyed Meet Cute Club so much that I was like, surely something else this guy has for me will be some good food. And this one is definitely more on the smut end of the spectrum. It's very, very short, and it's essentially just about our main character who is a babysitter and has a thing for the dad of the kid that he babysits. Like, that's it. That's the whole premise. I rated it 3 stars because I had a good time, but it just didn't quite hit the same way Meet Cute Club did. But technically it's also because it was much shorter and it was less what it was trying to do. So there wasn't as much to give it, you know, that extra little push to be a little something more. So there isn't much to say about this one in particular. Just know it was fun, it was nice. If you just want something that's smutty and relatively to the point, try it, because I definitely think it's worth, you know, the like hour it takes to read. Honestly, I'm pretty sure I read that shit in like an hour. The next novella I picked up was Soft on Soft by Mina Wahid. In this one, we're following a makeup artist called June and a model called Selena. Essentially, the two of them cross paths relatively frequently because of their line of work, and it's the romance that develops between the two of them. This one I rated 3 stars. It's exactly what the title suggests. It's just fucking soft, and it's just so nice and warm. It was great. I didn't rate it higher because it didn't quite click with me entirely, but I definitely enjoyed reading it, and I had a nice time. I think the main thing is just that I struggled to connect with the characters and fully invest in their relationship for a long time. It took me a while to like them and kind of vibe with their interactions. But once I was well into the story, I definitely thought they were cute as hell, and I liked how nice and sweet they were with one another. And I actually like this enough that I'm actually right now currently reading another novella short story collection that the same author has, and I'm enjoying it far more and having a good ass time. So definitely I think this is an author worth trying out. The final novella I picked up from Kindle Unlimited was From Scratch by Katrina Jackson. Let me tell y'all, Katrina Jackson is giving me life. I want to read all of her works. I'm having a blast when I read her shit. But what is From Scratch about? Well, there's not a lot of plot, but essentially we're following 3 main characters. One of them is a baker, one of them is a police officer, and one of them is a fireman. Pretty sure. Their jobs don't play much of a role in the story, almost at all. Mostly actually Mary, the baker, is the one who has the most significant role. Like, her job plays the most significant role because we have a lot of scenes of her at her bakery. Apart from that, literally the other 2 dudes and their jobs play almost absolutely no fucking role in this story. But it's essentially about the 3 of them falling in love and having a beautiful, nice, sexy poly relationship. We are thriving, okay? Katrina Jackson serves some good ass poly relationships and I am living for it. Now, despite the fact that my enjoyment of these stories is like 5 stars, the writing of this one in particular wasn't all that great, which is why I gave it 2 stars. Really, 2 stars most of the time isn't a bad rating from me. It just means I had a good time, but that writing was questionable. So in this one, the main thing is that I would have liked for these 3 characters to have had a bit more to them except one another. They were a bit too nuclear, thinking only about each other, that it kind of left them feeling a bit bland and dry. So I would have liked for them to have a bit more depth respectively. So that's why in general, even though it was really fun, I was kind of about the writing itself. I saw the potential. This is one of those cases where I'm like, I see the potential for greatness, so I'm kind of harder on it for that, because I'm like, this could really fucking kick ass if it had a little bit more to it. But that's fine, because the next one that I picked up from her, which I will be talking about in another video, was even better than this one, so we love to see growth. So at the end of the day, what I learned is that Kindle Unlimited is great if I'm looking for a lot of novellas that are good for like a short, immediate, fun time. They're much easier to get through, you know, because they're shorter, and they're mostly focused on being fun or sexy or whatever the hell, and I enjoy that. I'm like, yes, get to the point, inject serotonin into this body. So in June, I keep referencing other ones that I'm reading, because in June I've kept reading them as well, because it's good. It's a nice time. I'm not planning on keeping the subscription, but mostly it's because the less money I can give to Amazon, the happier I am as a human being. So that's the main reason. If not, I would just fucking keep it, because I have more time and I definitely need the short instant gratification that these novellas provide, so it would be worth it. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Please let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on novellas. Do you read them frequently? Have you ever read one? Are you kind of now more interested in trying them out? Let me know. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you would like to follow me on any of my social media, I will leave the links to that down below in the description. But for now, see you next time.